What's poppin', players? Welcome back to a Two Penny Games review. This time, Princess Peach Showtime. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend, co-host, and lead reviewer. Say hello to the people, Phil Shoemaker.
Hello, it's me, Phil. You startled me when you opened. It always jars me.
It's energy.
You
Gotta have the energy. Gotta get right in there. Get right in there. Just like you gotta get.
It makes me scared.
Gotta get right into Princess Peach Showtime. Phil, you've been playing it over the weekend. I have no idea what your progress is on this game. How many hours? Have you rolled credits? What's going on here?
I have not rolled credits, but I don't think I'm that far off. This game is very short from what it feels like. I'm just zooming through.
Yeah. What are we looking? Are we looking like 5-ish? 8-ish?
This game.
Well, don't go into the video. Just give me the time. I just want the time.
Oh, like hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say probably like 6 or 7 hours in. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Fantastic. Well, then go ahead, my friend, with your full review.
Yeah. So here I go. Princess Peach Showtime. It's all right.
Oh.
It's yeah. So I think that's a 6 on our scale, right?
That should be, yes. That's a 6 on our scale.
Yeah. This game is piss baby easy.
Okay.
For one, first off, there's only 2 buttons. Yeah, there's a jump and attack.
Oh, okay.
Or I guess action, because not every version of Peach has an attack. Some of it is like Detective Peach, where you like use your magnifying glass to zoom in, or with I think they call her patisserie Peach, which is like a baker. It's like, oh, you mix a bowl, and it's a little mini game where you don't let the cake get too high up when you mix it, otherwise it'll explode. And there's one that I like. Each little show that Peach is in changes. Like, she gets a different costume, right? That's kind of the gimmick that we're going here. She's going through all these levels as a different version of Peach, trying to stop the evil witch Grape from destroying this theater. That I don't even know what these little citizens are called. They look like wigglers without the rest of them. They look like just singular like digit wigglers. Like, say if my finger's a wiggler, they look like they're just the end of the wiggler, just like with legs and arms. Yeah. But yeah, a lot of the gameplay, like the game doesn't run very well. You know, which is surprising from a mainline Nintendo game, or from property as big as Mario. The loading screens buffer. Like,
Oh, wow.
like there's drop frames on loading screens. Because they'll have like a little curtain ruffling like for the loading screen, and it like jitters. It stutters.
Yikes.
And it's very weird. Also, like, a lot of the background visuals are just kind of fuzzy and they don't look very good. And I don't think it's an artistic choice. I think it's just the fact that they're trying to do too much, and either they didn't optimize it well enough, or the hardware on the Switch is just too dated at this point for what they were trying to do. Either way, it's not the best looking. A lot of like the foreground designs and the just like backgrounds that aren't like physical assets, they look pretty cool. They look authentically like stage bits, or like this little roll, like you'll have a little fly with a well, not a fly, because that's a different stage term. The rolling set piece, where they'll like, oh, you're on like a train track in a western, and you're riding this little card, like 2D horse, basically. That's, if you see it from any angle other than straight on, you can see that it's like on wheels, or like has a little platform you stand on, right? It's very theater, you know? And I like that part of it. And a lot of the costumes that like change Peach, like each little introduction to you getting this costume as Peach is really neat. I like the way they kind of do these little. It's like a short 5 to 10 second cutscene where you just Peach changes form, right? And it's really, I like a lot of the design choices they have for, like Mermaid Peach is really neat. There's Cowgirl Peach. There's like a superhero Peach. I think it was like I can't remember the name of it. It's like Mighty Peach or something like that. And a lot of them are really interesting and creative, and a lot of them do interesting things. Like your attack for the Mermaid Peach, is you're underwater and you're using your voice to control these fish.
Oh.
And you like direct the fish around the level, and they can like open chests, and they can make enemies go away. And there's a lot of interesting like kind of puzzle elements that like interesting for. I say interesting like this is like I said earlier. This is a baby game. Like it's very much like introductory, kind of like the child playing this game isn't really reading the dialogue. They're really just going through these levels, looking at all the bright colors, and solving these very easy puzzles. And you know, I enjoy it for what it is. It's just not very. It seems very safe, you know.
Okay.
And you know, which you don't expect a whole lot of like breaking ground when it comes to like this kind of spin-off for a Mario. It just seems very paint by numbers in terms of like, oh, we're gonna have Peach be sword fighter, and it's gonna be kind of Three Musketeers-y, and that's probably. I don't know. I hate that the combat is reduced to just 2 buttons, and for that matter, not just the combat, the entire game is 2 buttons and a control stick. You know, because I think they're maybe expecting kids to be playing on a Joy-Con. I don't know.
Single Joy-Con play. Yeah, I can see that.
Sure.
Yeah,
but there's no like multiplayer aspect that would behoove the child to have only one Joy-Con where the other person has another Joy-Con.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not really getting the most out of this game. I'm what feels like a decent 60% way. There's like in terms of clearing these like stages, they're very Crash Bandicoot-esque in terms of like you choosing the stage, you complete 4 stages and then do like a little boss.
Okay. But it's on a 2D plane, right?
Not well. The hub world is 3D.
Oh, okay.
Everything else is relatively like 2.5D.
Okay.
Like there's some stuff you can go into the background, go into the foreground, some play in that right.
Some low big planet shit. I like it.
Yeah, a little bit. Very very slight. It's nothing like Super Mario Wonder where you would go into a pipe and then pop up in the background, and vice versa.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that. It's really just like you can go this however far into the background to grab this little sparkle thing, which is like the collectible.
Yeah.
You get however, I think there's 10 per stage, and like for bonus stages there's like 5. But you just do it for doing things the best and finding everything in the level. Okay. You get all 10 or all 5.
Well, I mean, it's not like expectations were high for this one.
Yeah.
And you know what you're giving me doesn't surprise me. But I was kind of hoping for like this to be a little bit of a surprise. At best, I thought maybe this is going to be on the level of say like a Luigi's Mansion or something, but I didn't have high hopes for that. Yeah. But you know, I was hoping that it would be something like how we got last year with Disney Illusion Island, where that's a very fun kids game that, you know, doesn't have a lot of buttons going on in that. It's mostly just jump, but there is some like action buttons or stuff in that. But like just through design, it keeps it interesting and keeps it fresh enough to keep it going and so forth. But this is a single player only game.
I believe so.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. It doesn't sound like we're taking full advantage of what we can do here with the Switch.
Another aspect like that I kind of want to bring up is because it's so easy. The only time I've like died, you'll lose. You have like 5 hearts to start. Like you have like 5 hits to basically before it's like you lose a life, or there's not really a life system in this one.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. The only time I've actually like failed or like died in that way is the rhythm game that was like at the end of the the first mermaid stage that I did. Okay. I wasn't fully understanding what I was supposed to do, and it just took me a while to get it. And then there's each like mini game like that has like a control button where you can be like, oh, what am I supposed to do? And it just wasn't super clear. And then I just kind of figured it out. Maybe it's just my 8 brain and I was playing it too late at night to where I wasn't really reading it very well, or I don't know. But that was the only time I really like died in this game.
Gotcha. Okay. Talk to me about the variety of gameplay here. This is obviously one that it's like, hey, we're going to switch it up every, I don't know, couple of minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Mini games, I assume a decent amount of in here. Talk to me about the quality of them. How many of them are they fun to come back to?
So in terms of the number of them, there aren't really that many. At least not that I've seen. The only ones that really change up the gameplay in terms of instead of it being like a 2D, not like brawler, but you're going through a 2D 2.5D plane and you're fighting enemies as they come across the other screen, kind of like a TMNT type deal where like you have enemies coming across, and the only ones that change up from that are the mermaid one, which turns into more of a like puzzle solving using the fish to guide things around open chests. The chef one or the baker one, I think it's patisserie, I don't know the word, but
Okay.
there's like a baking mini game where it's basically just like mash the B button, but not too much.
Now, is
Otherwise,
this a game where we are introducing mini games or introducing a change in mechanics, and then once we're past it, we're throwing it away, or are these mechanics coming back?
It seems to be coming back. I think there are 2 dedicated levels for each like costume for Peach, and then after that, there's a bonus that you go to like the basement of the theater and you do like a special. Sorry, Ash is wearing my shoes. She's looking funny. But there's like a bonus thing that like you go and rescue the original like actor for this role that you pick up. And I've only done a couple of those. There's one for the cowgirl that I did, and one for the sword fighter. The cowgirl one was kind of cool because you were saving this little like semi-wiggler. It's what I'm going to call them now. They're like partial wigglers. That was like strapped to a pole in the middle of a train track that was going to get run over by a train. So it's very Western, and that part was fun, and it's very it was very like flowing, kind of like a Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze level, where like you kind of just keep going forward, and it's just kind of one continuous like kind of like the mine carts, you know what I'm talking about?
I know what
Tropical
you're talking
Freeze?
about. Yeah.
Just on the horse, with Princess Peach Showtime. But yeah, in terms of stuff returning, it seems like it's really only like a 3-level kind of gimmick, and then they're done with it. I imagine that they're going to do something with the final boss where like, oh, you have to use all of your rolls and all of your powers to beat the final boss, right? I don't know exactly how many there are. There are some that were in the trailer that I have not gotten to yet.
Okay.
And there are more that I did not see in the trailer that I was like, oh, there's a lot more to this game than I thought, and that was like a nice little pleasant surprise, which kind of is contributing to the 6 rather than the 5. And I like some of the creative like changes they do with some of these costumes and the roles that you do, but it's not enough in my opinion.
Do you see yourself finishing this game out?
I'll probably finish it. Like it's a really easy game. I can't imagine me like getting like so hooked that I'm gonna be I have to 100% this game. There's not been a single time where I'm like, I got to go replay this to make sure I get all the sparkles or whatever. So I feel like once I roll credits, I'm just gonna uninstall.
Makes sense. Oh, okay. So probably not a full recommend to Nintendo fans or people above a certain age range.
It's very much like if you want to get your kid into video games, just pop them in front of this one. And
okay. But is it worth them going to this one, or should they reach for something else? Should they reach for an Illusion Island? Should they reach for a Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze or anything like that before going to this? Or
I could see a kid having a good time with this game. Would I recommend other games beforehand? Sure. I haven't played Disney Illusion Island, but from how I've heard you talk about it, I would probably say reach for that first.
That game's fun. And multiplayer.
Tropical Freeze, Tropical Freeze is another thing I would say, like, reach for that one first. Just because I think the overall quality of that game is higher.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like the art style for some of the stuff. It just kind of overwhelms itself and kind of, I don't know. It becomes too much for the system or however poorly optimized this game is. But I can't give this one my full recommendation.
That's a little disappointing. I was hoping that this one would be like a little sleeper hit or something.
I was also disappointed. I fully stand by like this game is getting, I think right now it's a 75 on OpenCritic, which in my opinion I think is generous.
Oh wow.
Yeah. If it was me, I would have it closer to like 72 to 70.
No, go ahead. Give it that 68, even though it would count against
No,
you. Give it up. Give it up. You know what's funny? Days before this game, the embargo dropped and the reviews came out. Days before, I thought about counterpicking it. I was looking at it and I was like, maybe, but it was just too much of a chance of it being quality. You know, that there's that Nintendo magic going around. But
that's kind of where I was at, because I was thinking about dropping it.
Yeah.
After I heard Tim's impressions on it from the Kind of Funny Games cast.
Yeah.
Or I think it might have been Games Daily that he was talking about it
or something. Yeah.
But yeah, I toyed with the idea of dropping it, but I was like, I mean, that game could get me like 8 to 9 points. You know,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. But you know, now that it's only giving me 5, I wish I had dropped it.
Sure.
You know.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is your review of Princess Peach Showtime. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I have been your host, Tavin Bothel, this year, your reviewer of Phil Shoemaker. Maybe skip this one. Hey, pick up Disney Illusion Island. That game was great. It was slept on, underrated. Multiplayer, you can play it with your kid. Much more fun that way. Every character is equivalent.
I would say wait for a sale, but it's Nintendo, so there's never going to be a sale.
What is this game sold at?
60.
Fuck. Oh, God. Pretty sure Illusion Island was like 40, 50. Like, yeah, go pick up Illusion Island.
It's selling full price, so.
Yeah, that's nuts. Oof, no. And I can't say this is like fully unexpected, because Nintendo, this generation at least, has had some misses with their spin-off titles. The Mario sports games have been big misses. The 3 of them that have come out this generation have not been up to par. You know, the ARMS and stuff, not great. You know, adventures and so forth. So yeah, maybe not this one, unless you've got, maybe you've got a young girl who wants to play as Princess Peach all the time. Sure, that one if you want. But other than that, Minnie Mouse is just as fun as Mickey and Donald. So, I'm just throwing that out there. Make sure you like, subscribe. Let us know what you thought of Princess Peach Showtime down in the comments below. If you're from the Two Penny Games cast, thank you so much for watching and listening. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow us on mainstream podcast services. And until next time, have a great time. Phil, say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye.